Hi everyone. Today we continue our FastX webinar series, and we have a great guest, Ferdi Alici, who's a new media artist and director and founder of Ouchhh, which is a award-winning new media studio that works across art, science, and technology. Hi Ferdi, happy to have you here today.
Oh, I am doing well, and it's a very lovely day. Thank you so much again. Such a great invitation. I am so happy to be part of to that sessions, and especially the highlight sentences. Science inspires great art. It's amazing. It's exactly describing to our vision, and we have a same mindset. That's why I am so happy to be here.
The pleasure is all mine. Probably the first question I would like to ask you today is about your personal path. Like, how did you decide to work on this interesting intersection of art, science, and technology? What was your fascination? What was your inspiration to do that?
Actually, it was the interesting to starting point for us. The convergence of art, technology, and science has always fascinated me. Growing up, I was constantly curious about how the world works from the beginning of the universe to the ways technology could shape our reality. And then the pivotal moment for me was when I was first anchored the concept of data as a form of artistic expression. And that was the starting point for us, data as a paint, algorithm as a brush. And I realized that the science and technology could be more than tools for analysis, and they could be mediums of storytelling and emotions. So this realization set me on a path to explore how we can visualize data, not as a cold numbers, but as a narratives that reflect to the beauty and complexity of our lives. And art for me became the bridge that connects the abstract nature of data to human emotions from the beginning. So that's why when we integrate art, science, and technology inside of the public spaces in a poetic way, that was the huge challenge for me. And that path, that was the starting point. But everything starting with the one great scientific paper from the Alan Turing. I don't know. Do you know that was the interesting scientific paper he published 1950? And according to the paper, he asked the question, "Can machine think?" And it was so amazing question. I mean, if you remember at that time, the computers made by wooden, so you can understand how that's the question visionary and timeless. So that was the huge inspiration moment more than 15 years ago, and we started to ask the same questions with the different senses, like I can machine think, can machine create, can machine the create the movie. So that was the different type of the questions drive us to create the poetic experiences. And it was the so complicated the process. We always like to create something complex pipeline during to the process. The process, it was also part of our creation in a poetic way. So that's by the way, artistic satisfaction for us when we create the very complex the pipeline during to the creative process. Yeah, that we can say the path. And the time after time, I'm gonna give to the much more example about that.
Thank you for sharing it. It was so beautiful to hear how you see data, because I'm sure lots of people see data very differently, and you see it in a very beautiful and poetic way. So could you share us more on the history of Ouchhh? How did you create the company? Maybe what were the first projects, and what was your idea behind, starting this company, this new media agency?
Actually, we are calling right now studio. The beginning of the entire that epic journey, we just start with one computer. We have too many dreams, and we don't have any client. We don't have any money. and investment, nothing, just the idea. And this is the interesting story because the 15 years ago, we have idea, but we don't have the client or money. So we decided to go to bank for taking money for build the installation. And then the of course that was the interesting risk. We took that as a challenge. But when we built that art piece, it became a kind of the viral on the online, and we had a chance exhibit the same art piece around the world with too many times. And when we make too much more money, we invest again the art studio. So the right now, the more than 45 people working as an in-house team in Istanbul, and the team consists of very talent from AI artists, engineers, academicians, coders, data scientists, animators, and all that people seeing one vision for making the hybrid public art. In the beginning of the story, it was the so humble and naive starting. We didn't make any plan about the business model, or the planning the next or 10 years, nothing. Just we have the passion and ideas and the dreams. We just focus on that. And at that time, it looks like a couple of nerdy guys doing something cool for nothing. But after that, the last 10 years, it became the huge business. But again, the business side not driving us. Actually, the idea is driving us. So it means the idea always comes first, and we're trying to making happen that idea with the exist technology. But generally, it's not enough. So we have to hack to technology for making happen that unique idea. And every project starting with the big question in our studios, and we're trying to investigate that questions with the different type of experiential techniques. And then the thing is actually for that techniques, it's not just the cool abstract animations. Also behind that, the abstraction and beautiful paintings, there's a scientific background always. So it means we are making collaboration with the real scientists. We had a chance work with for example, with the CERN, NASA, SAT Montreal, Art Science Museum Singapore. And we had access, for example, the one of our last project, we had access the world best 16 machine learning professors around the world from NYU, MIT, Harvard. So can you imagine to the infinite possibilities when artists make collaboration with the real scientists? So it's an interesting way understanding the our universe, and the interesting the approach also transform to the unseen to seen. And it's interesting inspirational moment for two fields, science and art. The for the perception of the scientists, they are just looking for the scientific conclusions during to their data integration or analysis. But from our perception, that numbers became a data paintings and beautiful poetic, the art pieces. So it means it's become inspiration for the scientists. That's by the way, my goal and aim, how we can giving the inspiration to do that as scientist with my art and with my knowledge.
That's a very big vision. I can hear that, like, you're working with such a different set of people in your team, outside of your team, and it's a very big vision. So could you share a little bit of more like how your creative journey looks like? You told me today that you start with an idea, and how do you work with this idea? So what are the steps that you usually like work with?
Yeah, actually, our creative process always begins with that kind of the questions. But how can we turn abstract concepts or data into something that moves people emotionally? So we're trying to touch into their souls. So it's not just a contemporary art. Actually, this is cinematic poetic experiences. And once we have a team or data set, or we work closely with the experts in the field, scientists, engineers, or researchers, depending on the subject. For example, in our one of the artwork with the brainwaves data or human cell atlas, we collaborate with the neuroscientists to understand deeper meaning behind the data. And from there, we enter into a collaborative process with AI, treating it not as a tool, but as a co-creator, an artist that works alongside us. So it means AI not just a tool for us, a kind of the friend, a kind of the collaborator for us. And there's an infinite ping pong process between us. And
Mhm.
there's a continuous back and forth exchange like a ping pong match where ideas flow between us and the idea. This collaboration continue until we artists feel the result is both intellectually and emotional fulfilling. Ultimately, our goal is to create an experience that stimulates both the mind and the heart. But the thing is, for the beginning to end, the process also should be the complex. For example, the one of the our the permanent art piece data gate, it was in Nanjing permanently. We collaborate with the Dame Gelino. She's astrophysicist and director of the Kepler telescope project last 15 years. And our aim to create a kind of the gate between the our planets and other habitable planets. So that's why it was the 2018, and that was the first AI data sculpture using to the NASA data archived. And during to that process, it was the crazy because when we downloaded the huge data archive, we couldn't understand that terminology is exactly for the astrophysicist. But we wanted the focus on just exoplanet data, star novas, and starlights, something like that data archives. So that's why during to the process between the astrophysicists and us, we always use her path as a guide for the creation process. And we created multiple algorithms for optimizing, for create the different type of the new latent spaces and new machine consciousnesses from that data archive. And we had a chance, we can create the 100 dimensional data from the three-dimensional data. And it was the machine perception, which is, it was amazing, by the way. But end of the day, when we create everything, we got the approve from her. Is it right data for the right art piece? And it was amazing collaboration. We learned too many things. We had to learn the astrophysics terminological elements and everything. So that was the also huge education for us during to the process. And for the developing that process, as I told you, we really love to create the playgrounds between the fields. For example, during to that process, we transform the entire exoplanet, which is the life can exist there. We transformed the exoplanet's data as a music notes. And when we transform it as a music notes, we connect the notes with the instruments, classical music instruments. And when we push the play button, the entire exoplanet's data starting making symphony with the so the it's so experiential. And when we hear that, by the way, we use that for the installation. So it was amazing, the playground between the fields. And I mean, the code numbers became a music, and music became a visual, and visual became a music again. So that was the cross discipline creation with the AI. But as I told you, it's when I put the secret codes also inside of the installation. This is another approach. For example, last 15 years, we are putting the secret codes inside of the each installation. Nobody can understand and realize. And one day we will publish like our, for example, 20 years anniversary, the secret codes on the online, and people will see this is the 20 years the art performance in a secret way. So that's another, for example, approach we put that.
I never heard of people working with this kind of approach.
I'm
This sounds unique. That's amazing. I think like you just many projects, but I would like to ask about your favorite project that you personally find very special. And if you have any visuals you want to show us, please go ahead if you feel like it, or we can do that a bit later.
No, actually, definitely, I would like to share with you. Let me share my screen.
Yes.
I have that. This is the one of the most. Okay.
Awesome. Yes, we see it.
Yeah, actually, for that project, entire idea, the Human Cell Atlas project, it was the one of the favorite, the latest one. But I would like to tell you about the process of that project. What was the idea? So this is the you are seeing right now the word all this art in human history. We are talking about 40,000 years old inside of the cave, and we were wondering about, as you know, that time the people just care about the hunting and then about the food, right? But the one guy or woman decided to paint it on the walls. And we were wondering about what was the motivation for it, what was the dream about it, and after the 40,000 years, we can share in this talk, right? It's a crazy the motivation. So that's why we always thinking about something like this, the behavior. But I would like to also give today a couple of example. Who is the inspiration for us? For example, this one is the Laura Madsen early data sculptures, 1995, and also Natalie Maybach, 2007. She's making the handmade data sculptures, taking data from the storms. So that's and also she's a professor and academician. She wrote too many books, so you can check it. All that the artist, uh, it was the huge inspiration for us during to the that process. And but the entire things we are trying to understand what is the meaning to be an artist in the 21st century with AI and technology, right? And according to the time, as I told you, the Alan Turing of the one of our biggest the
Mhm.
inspiration. But the I like to before the Human Cell Atlas project, it might be a good example of this project. The 2018, we created world biggest AI exhibition in Paris. It was interesting data archive. We integrated. We collected data from the famous scientist books like Einstein, Hawking, and Galileo, who's the changed destiny of the world. And we collected data like a 20 million lines books. It was it was crazy data archived, and we trained the AI. But keep in mind, 2018, there is no chat GPT, Midjourney, or the other open source algorithms. So we had to create our own machine learning algorithm made by Python coding for it.
Mhm.
Uh, that was the pioneer artwork, and approximately 1 million people experience in 9 months by tickets, which is huge capital, by the way. And you can see that this is the one page, the explanation about our data flow. For example, this one is the RNN table and our AI algorithm reading entire 20 million lines books and rendering new sentences. Then after that, that sentence is going to on the wall with the 146 projectors inside of the 3,500 square meter, which is pretty much big. And that was another huge challenge to the create the large scale rendering in real time for that space. And then we became the famous the suddenly in the past we featured on newspapers and everywhere, and we had a chance the exhibit same artwork the stage of the TEDx CERN. But the crazy things happening the last year. I don't know, did you see the latest Mission Impossible movie?
No,
uh,
actually, tell me.
Really?
No.
Actually, the poetic AI, when we created the poetic AI, the director of the Mission Impossible movie had a chance experience our art piece, poetic AI, and they came to us. We want to integrate your AI art piece inside of the movie, but they didn't tell anything about the purpose. So I had a chance to work with Tom Cruise like a 3 weeks around in London. We built the immersive bar, and that was the 200 people production, the planning. It was amazing, educational, the time for me. Actually, I learned too many things, the how that movies became alive in the theaters. So
Mhm.
we integrated that's the poetic, our poetic installation. And when we went to the cinema, we realized that our art piece became a bad guy, AI guy, and it's chasing the Tom Cruise during the entire movie. And they called to the entity. It was last summer, and more than $500 million box office, and that's the first time in Hollywood's industry one AI new media artwork integrated to the movie. And it's not just the figurative background; it's also the part of the story. Check it; you will like it.
I'm definitely gonna watch it just like when you finish it. That's so exciting. So it was
Yeah.
just last year, right?
What?
It was just last year. The film was
Yeah,
released last year.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes. Last year, it was amazing. I mean, by the way, you can check the online platforms like a Netflix, Amazon. You can watch it. Actually, the last time I was in plane, and I watch again. It was very interesting. The feeling for me, the seeing to the artwork in the plane, one of the famous movies. So the question for your question, what is your favorite? I think that this one. That this one is the one of my favorite. The last 5 years, we have a long term relationship with the CERN, which is the world biggest particle collider place. They are trying to understand the universe with the experiential techniques. And last 5 years, almost every year, we have been doing and creating the art pieces for them using the different type of the data archives. For example, we already used the two subatomic particle colliders for creating the art. But the latest one is the we call the Human Cell Atlas. The Human Cell Atlas project, our aim was about can we create the self-portrait of humanity with the AI. Actually, right now you can use the different type of the open source the AI tools like a Mid Journey or Runaway, and you can put the prompt right. The can you create the self portrait of the humanity, and you can get the different type of the outputs right, and then it will be nice also. But the thing is, um, all that the language models trained based visual base. So it means the pictures, not the scientific data. So the what if we can train the AI using the scientific data from the human body, and after that, if we can try to get the self-portrait of the humanity, what will be happen? So we trained the AI with the one of the largest data archived in the world. They call the Human Cell Atlas project. And more than 2,000 institutes became together since 2016. I am talking about the hundreds, thousands and thousands the scientists, and their aim was about create one of the biggest data about the human body, and they collected it. I am talking about the more than 37 trillion human cells. So for this project, we trained the AI and feed the AI with that data archive. And we almost use every type of the AI algorithm for creating the self-portrait of the humanity. And for example, we use the GAN algorithm, diffusions, T-scene algorithms, also the different type of the AI classification codes from the Art Studio made by Python coding. And as you see, it's so poetic, and this is another living architectural installation happening inside us. Every single of cells, actually, when you change your perception, and when you train the AI, you can see the poetic paintings. So that was the amazing approach. We can observe to the that data with the AI from the different part of the bodies. For example, from the heart, from the brain, from the skin, from the legs, from the everywhere. And so you can see right now a kind of the one page for the quick data explanation. By the way, the last year we exhibit that art piece at Art Dubai. It was an interesting approach. We had a chance share with the Dubai people. Um, During to that creative process, when we integrate 37 trillion human cells, the same time that we received the invitation for the SpaceX project. That according to that SpaceX project, is the two machines uh, wanted to create a kind of the art performance, and they created the first the space digital museum. So the entire the Human Cell Atlas project we sent to New York to the a kind of the nano lab, an entire art piece recorded with the nanotechnology on the one disk. You can see this right hand bottom side. We recorded the entire art piece to the disk, and we put to that disk on the SpaceX rocket. Then after that, last February, we sent to the art piece to the space, and you can see that disk. There is inside of that disk we put our DNA codes and that art piece, and also with the entire Wikipedia, from the Italian art history, Leonardo, Shakespeare, everything inside of that disk, and you can see the exact location of the disk. So our motivation was exactly same like a 40,000 years ago painter. It was the same approach. It was the same aim. I mean, putting to our knowledge for the next generations and keeping the thousand and thousand years. And you can check it, by the way, first aartinspace.com, the entire process and everything right there. And we had a chance to install that art piece, the entrance area of the Kennedy Space Center for a day. That was a so poetic moment for us because we were there. And this is the first. That was my childhood dream, by the way, sending to one of my art piece to the space, and that was a so memorable moment for us. Yes. You can see the rocket side, the right side, the details of the rocket and the disc, an art piece. So this is the 1972, the first moon landing, and this is the 2024, the second one. And this is the moment from the rocket launch.
That's incredible. I have
Yeah,
no way.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yeah, that's the crazy. You know, if someone tell me to 20 years ago or something like that, hey, Ferdi, you will send your art to the moon, uh, nobody can believe it.
Yeah, I think none of the living artists would ever believe it because it's just something that's absolutely extraordinary, and it's something that it is absolutely unique, and it's so unique to be the first one doing this specific thing. It is legendary in all possible ways.
Oh, thank you. And then, yeah, actually, when you experience with our naked eyes, it was the so interesting moments from our body, and
Yeah.
and the worst part is, I can tell you, we had to keep that information more than 1.5 years, because that was the NDA. We had to wait the 1.5 years telling to the nobody.
And so you were there to see it. So you were the one standing it, and you saw how the rocket went. So you were there physically. You saw that.
Yes, yes, we were there. Actually, it was interesting, the story, because the approximately 1.5 year postponed, and that maybe 8 times around that rocket launch, the postponed. But that time they invited us, and then it was the red carpet moment. We were there, the so fancy clothes, and everyone is the celebrating to do that, the moment. And before the just 30 minutes ago from the launch, they told us cancel. When we were there, and everyone, it's it was the crazy, oh, again, again. Then after that, the other night, uh, they call us and bring to the hotel, from our hotel, with the daily clothes, and the three different buses full of the people. We went to the near the rocket as much as we can, and the midnight, it was amazing. I mean, yeah, it's so memorable moment for me.
It sounds absolutely surreal, and I'm so happy you're sharing it with our audience because I'm sure they're definitely going to remember that. It sounds like an amazing story to share.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
I also wanted to ask you, like, I'm sure with all AI boom happening in the last, what is it, 2 years, 3 years,
Yeah.
lots of people probably you heard they're critiquing, use of AI in art, and probably there are lots of conversations around it, how good it is to use AI in art, is it art then? So what do you usually reply, and or what are your thoughts on like, this kind of critiques?
Actually, of course, for every technology when invented, this is a positive and negative ways always happening, right? And criticism. Especially, we are talking about much more the popular way of the AI, because of the people really interesting to the visual sides, the video side, and also poems. AI right now, they can create the poem, or uh, every intellectual properties, the fields. The AI can do that with the different ways. But some criticisms are very making good highlights. Some of them, I think, the not necessarily important for me from my perception, especially the people saying to the when you use the AI during to the process, or when you create the art with just a couple of prompt. Is it valuable things? Is it so actually we are living right now huge invention. I mean, it looks like the found the fire inside of the human history. It's exactly same invention, but I think people couldn't realize that, because we are just talking about the artistic part, but also there are too many new things will happening about the government sides, the defense sides, and also health sides. I think in 10 years the AI will solve every the human problems, so they heal to solve the cancers, for that entire disease. The AI can solve that problems. And there are, of course, I would like to think about a much more optimistic way about the AI. Actually, it's exactly reflects to the dark side and bright side in the same time. And I can't wait to see the end of the movie, of course. But probably we will see the every possibility in our lives before that. I mean, in the 40 years, we will see the every possibilities of the AI, because of for example, for the AGI, the one professor taught to create the AGI. It was the 20 years later or something like that, but that guy had to make the revision about that gas. Right now, they are talking about in 3 years or something like that. It will be better than the human brain. So this is the crazy, and then the so excited also. But also I'm thinking about the artistic criticism. So the
Mhm.
for example, when you talk about the contemporary arts or the create the exhibition, you can make the conversation with ChatGPT, and you can create the different type of the conceptual approach from the beginning to end, or you can create the bots uh, as a creator with with the physical the body. Everything can be happen, but I think end of the day the idea always will drive the entire things, the idea, and the human factor is always inside of that the part of the creation. And without the human factor, for example, according to our creative process, we are not putting the raw outputs from the AI to the immersive experiences. It's always a kind of the experiential process we are living between the AI and us. And this is not just one, the algorithm. There are multiple algorithms. And that's that when we built that kind of the complex pipeline, that was the artistic satisfaction for us. And we can understand, actually the thing is this, behind to that simplicity there's a complexity, the creation process. So that's why I think we should make criticism including to the process, the
Mhm.
process of the your creation process. So the final output is not enough to making criticism. Also, during to that criticism, we should think about the process. So for our every art pieces, always the process also to be part of the art piece. So this is very democratic way for the people. They can see the data journey for the art piece, and they can understand the every details behind the creation process in a transparency. Of course, sometimes it might be interesting, but sometimes we are getting the message from the people. They want to get our source files, and then I mean, when we share to everything in a transparency, of course, they want to get also source files. Unfortunately, we are not sharing to our source files.
Yes.
Yeah, but the according to criticism, I really love to get into the different type of the criticism about our artworks, and then when we share it online, positive way or negative way, I am so happy to see and hear that kind of the criticisms.
Absolutely. Also, I would like to ask you a couple of more questions. Probably the next one is going to be about the plans of Ouch. What are the upcoming projects that are not under NDA? So something that, the general public can know about. Can you share something with us?
Yeah, actually, I can give to the limited the information for the projects, but always the always we are trying to put the new challenges for us because we really love it. Right now, I can tell you one of the inside it will be in the Times Square. Um, that was the one of the huge challenge because we will integrate AAG, brainwaves, and also the AI together. But I would like to tell you something. When we use the data, we are not making the data visualization. Actually, we are using data as a paint algorithm, as a brush. So it means we are interested to create art from the data, but it's not visualization. And for the next project in the Times Square, it will be happen the same thing. And also we have another space mission for the next year. I can't wait to share again. And also for this year, we have a project in London, Miami, Paris, and Milano, and China. Just in two months, it will be happen. We will share with you online. And of course, there is again the multiple challenges from the data part, physical challenges, and algorithm challenges. Uh, we can wait to share.
Yeah, we're very excited to follow all, all the things that your team is doing, and obviously, would love to have you, in Dubai,
Oh,
as this year we had. So I hope that you're gonna come next year and do also your work here.
definitely. Actually, Dubai, we can say that our second home from the Istanbul in a 3.5 hours, 4 hours later, we can be there. So that's why we are coming to the Dubai too many times for different projects. Actually, right now we have a permanent installation in Dubai. We created first AI new media art, the restaurant. You can check it. Um, and we will come to Dubai again for a couple of projects in this year, by the way.
Sounds great. Well, I hope to see you then there. And the
Yeah.
last question for today's discussion, I would like to finalize it with like a big question about the legacy. So, what kind of legacy would you like to leave, by your work that you're doing in Ouch?
The legacy, actually, right now we are working on the new Web3 project. The last 15 years, I think more than 20 million people experience our art pieces around the world. But we built the community, of course, on the social media, online, everywhere. But for the legacy part, we will create the new digital the community with the new Ouch token. It's gonna be the right now for our next installation. We will create the special collections for the special our community and funds. And especially during that 15 years, that was a gap between us and the funds, and then we received too many interesting mails around the world. For example, last one is it was in Taiwan. One primary school teacher connected with me, and then they wanted to visit to our studio in Istanbul with her children's, her students. I'm talking about the 10 years old children. So it was, for example, the one of the interesting proposal. For example, when we were in Tokyo, we were in just randomly the metro, and the Japanese guy came to us, hey, you are Ouch. And it was a shock moment for me. It was the metro between the Kyoto and the Tokyo. It's just random metro, and then they realized that. So we couldn't realize the how many people know us around the world. And so then after that, we decided to create this special community, maybe be part of to that people during to our exhibitions. For example, I am thinking about the selecting to some of the our fans and taking them to the exhibitions in New York, Miami, or London, and spend the day with them. And we are making emotional connection with the people somehow. Um, and for the legacy and the creative collection, I am not interesting to the. I would like to tell you something about that. The selling the collections. Actually, I am not never interesting selling to our art piece to some the collectors for their living room or something like that. It's not the motivation for me. I never focus on that topic. We always create the collection in publicly for the people, and it's so accessible for everyone. And this is not like oh, sorry about that. Can you see? Yes.
No worries.
And so
Yeah.
this is not like looks like the when you became an artist, the people always talk about the collection, selling the art piece like this, and for the special collectors or something like that. But I'm really interested to the making collection with the multiple editions for the normal people also. I mean, for everyone. So that's why right now we are working on to that kind of the technology, the creating that kind of legacy from our history and sharing to the people in a meaningful way.
That's amazing. And I absolutely love that your focus is like very broad. So you're trying to reach as many people as possible. And you just said this extraordinary number. Could you repeat it again? How many people saw your works? You
More than
said an incredible
more
number.
than 20 million, more than 20 million. the last 15 years, we can say that. For example, in the Paris, just 1 million people experience in 9 months. And for each installation and immersive experiences, at least the minimum 150,000 people bought tickets. When we make the drastic calculation, we can say the more than 20 millions people. For example, one of the art piece, it was in Coachella. You can
Mhm.
imagine how many people experience that. So when we make that drastic calculation, we can say more than 20 million people experience.
That's incredible. I think with these amazing numbers, it's the perfect time to finish this
Oh,
discussion. And
okay.
Ferdi, again for being here today. It's been my pleasure, and I'm very happy that we had you so our audience heard about your amazing projects. I'm really a big fan, and I'm looking forward to everything that you're going to work on in the coming years.
Pleasure is mine, Sonia. Thank you so much for such a great the words for us, and that was the pleasure for me to be here. And I hope I can share to the entire journey as much as I can. And thank you so much again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us today. And we'll speak exactly in 1 month, and we're going to have another panel discussion. So thank you, everyone. Have a good day. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye bye.